Hello everybody. So in this video, we're going to be talking about inflation and how that affects our businesses and what we can kind of do to combat this. And me specifically, I run a candle business if you're new to this channel. So that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about today. So over the past few months, I have been noticing inflation just like a lot of you all, and I have been making changes to my business so that I can still run my candle business and make a profit without having to take too much of a hit during these times. So I know a lot of you are seeing price increases with waxes, so I'm going to give you an example actually. So I usually buy my wax from Lone Star Candle Supply, and I'm going to put like maybe an image or something up here, but I went back to almost a year ago, August 2021, and I compared prices for the wax that I'm using, and this is a 40-pound box of wax. So in August of 2021, I purchased a 40-pound box of wax for $74.57. And today I just went on to the website to see how much wax costs, and a 40-pound box of wax today is $88.40. So this is about an 18% increase, and it literally hasn't even been a year. 11 months ago, this wax was way cheaper. So that's kind of crazy. So when I noticed this, I was like, I need to come up with a solution on how to kind of decrease the cost of my product without decreasing the actual quality of my product. So here's what I came up with. So the first thing you can do is introduce a new candle line. And this is exactly what I did a couple of weeks ago, and it's been doing pretty well. So what I mean by that, this is my typical dessert candle that I make. The container and the wax and everything, I kind of took that into account to see how much that costs, and I compared it with some materials that I have that are a lot cheaper in cost. So I found out that if I just switch this container and use the same wax, the same formula, I can actually make a cheaper candle with the same amount of wax. So I'm creating a cheaper product without actually skimping on the quality. Since my brand does focus on dessert candles and unique candles, I figured, how can I kind of work this into my candle line? So I came up with something. I did a lot of research beforehand before I came up with these candles, and I made boba candles. Now what makes these really awesome is the container is a lot cheaper than this container here, and it's the same amount of wax, same fragrance oil pretty much, but I'm spending a lot less on this particular candle, and I can charge about the same and make a pretty good profit margin on these candles. So I like to say, don't get married to your materials. I mean, if you have been using this container for years, think about other things that you can use. Create something new and fun. You don't have to keep buying the same materials over and over just because that's what you're used to or what your audience may be used to. You can still put your own unique twist on items, and then they can still like be a part of your brand. So even though the boba candles are completely different from these, because they are still food candles, and because I did come up with another unique thing about these candles is that it has a holographic label on it, so it kind of gives it that unique winding wick candles feel, and it costs me less to produce, and it costs me less time to produce. So we know that time is money, right? So if you want to pump out more products to increase how much money you're bringing in, you might have to refine your processes a bit. So making these dessert candles takes me a lot more time than making the boba candles. So if the boba candles do increase in popularity and I sell more of those, then I can sell more boba candles than I would selling the dessert candles. And like I said, the cost of the boba candles would be cheaper. So revisit the materials that you use and revisit your process to see if there's a way that you can kind of increase the amount of candles that you can sell. Another thing that I've been doing is buying locally. So when I first started making candles, I used to buy everything online for a while. I used to buy containers online, fragrances online, and then over the years I started kind of buying things more locally. So for the past 3 years I've been buying my wax locally and my containers locally, and I was still buying fragrances online. But then I noticed how much the shipping cost was increasing to buy these fragrances. So what I started doing about a few months ago, I'd say 4 or 5 months ago, I started finding dupes for my fragrance or replacing fragrances altogether. So for example, this is the strawberry shortcake fragrance. I used to buy this on Candle Science and they discontinued it, and then I was buying it from another supplier online, and then I recently found an exact dupe at Waxy Flower. And what's amazing about that company is because it's local to me, so it's about 30 minutes away, so I can drive to Waxy Flower, pick up this fragrance without having to spend tons of money on shipping. So I can't tell you the last time I've purchased fragrances online. A lot of my fragrances nowadays come from fragrances I already have in my stockpile, plus just buying them locally. So now I'm going back to the beginning and smelling all of the fragrances at different candle suppliers and just trying to find replacements for current candles or ideas to make new candles so that I can utilize these fragrances more in my candle business. All right, so one thing I noticed is candle containers kind of have a hold on the candle community. So don't feel like you have to buy the most expensive containers, the newest containers, the fanciest ones online, because first of all, those cost a lot more and you have to pay in shipping. So now you're decreasing your profit margin a lot when you can just resort to being a little bit more creative with how you source your materials and how you make those materials unique to your brand. So here's what I'm talking about. Search for things like salsa jars, jelly jars. You don't have to have the most beautiful, shiniest containers, gold containers, unless that's your brand and unless you're able to charge like $50-$60 for a candle to kind of make up for the cost, then that is more luxury. But if you're not a luxury brand, try to be a little bit more resourceful with your candle materials and how you're getting them. So when I personally went searching for cheaper materials in my community, I found the exact same containers and lids that I was using from a certain candle supplier where they were actually cheaper. The only thing is they weren't online. So I never knew that they had this certain material until I actually went and asked them, and they did, and they still don't have them online. So now I have to go actually to that place and ask for these things. But if I hadn't done that, I would have been paying way more for these candle supplies and having to drive over an hour because I only thought that the material that I was using was at the other candle supplier an hour away when it's actually 30 minutes away. I just had to ask if they had it. So here's an example of getting really crafty with your candle containers. Now these are containers that I've had in my storage for like a year or so. So instead of letting these sit in my storage, I decided to see if I can get creative with these. And this is a candle design that I came up with that I posted to my online class, Candlebiz Academy, and I did this completely from home, and it's still super unique, and I didn't really have to spend a lot of money on the stickers or anything like that, and I'm just using containers that I already had. So this is a really great way that you can save money and increase your profit margin. Just learn a few different skills so that you can create things by yourself and not have to source them out and get them printed from other third-party companies where, again, you have to pay for that service and get them shipped to you. So that alone increases your profit margins by a lot. A huge mistake that I see is people spending way too much money on packaging materials and, like I said, stickers. And I don't know why y'all are still shopping at Uline. Like, if you're still shopping on Uline, let me plug you into something, okay? So I did a little experiment here. I just recently purchased some more boxes from eBay. I have been buying my supplies from eBay for years. I think I did buy things from Uline for the first year because that's what everyone was talking about and where they get supplies. And I'm just like, Uline's too expensive. Where else can I get these things from? And I found the same things on eBay for a lot cheaper. So for example, I just did a 100 box test on Uline, and to get those boxes shipped to me, the boxes plus the shipping would be $124.89 for 100 boxes. Now, mind you, Uline is like an hour away from me, so I'm not sure how that works around the country, if it's going to be even more than that to get it shipped to you, but Uline is like an hour away from me. And from eBay, I ordered the exact same boxes, and trust me, because I've purchased boxes from both places, and it's the exact same quality. From eBay, the same size box, same quality, for 100 boxes is $69.24. So that's a difference of $55.65 for 100 boxes. Now imagine if during the holiday season you have to buy even more boxes. If you're purchasing from Uline, the shipping cost is going to go up. Now that eBay price was free shipping, so no matter how much you buy, it's free. The shipping's free. So from Uline, I kind of did a test for 300 boxes, and with the shipping, that would cost me $299.09. The same amount of boxes from eBay would be $207.72. So for 300 boxes, I would save $91.37 in shipping. Now with that, I could buy a whole nother 40 pounds of wax. So make sure you guys check out eBay. And also I have a plugin attached to my Chrome extension. It's like a Chrome extension for Rakuten, but it's kind of like similar to Honey, where you check out and then you kind of save money on stuff, and it works for eBay. So if you buy your materials, your shipping materials, so your bubble wrap, your boxes, your crinkle paper, your tissue paper, all of that stuff, when you buy them from eBay, you can use the Rakuten extension, and then you can get checks in the mail. Like I get checks in the mail all the time just because I use Rakuten plus eBay and get money back. I'm gonna leave my referral link down below for you guys if you want to sign up for Rakuten, and then you can start using that to kind of get money back. And it's not like a credit thing. There's literally nothing you have to do except for shop with the Chrome extension. So you guys can check it out if you like. So some other ways that you can increase the revenue coming in is raising the cost of your product. This is pretty easy. You just have to kind of think about what you're charging versus what other people are charging to see if you could raise the price or not to accommodate for the increase in cost. Now, if you really feel like you can't raise the price anymore, then again, come out with a new candle line. So if you say, well, I need to increase the price by $10, well, scrap your current candle line and create a new one that gives the perceived value that it's worth $10 more than your previous candle line. So for me, I didn't have to create a new candle line for this. I literally just increased the price by $1. Nobody said a thing. It's not like I made a huge announcement or anything to social media or to the email list that I'm increasing prices. I just went in there and increased the price, and people still kept on shopping. So if you're just increasing it by $1 or so, most people aren't going to notice. And you can also increase your shipping. So if you do free shipping over $50, try doing free shipping over $75 so that you can kind of increase the average order value. This next one may seem a little counterintuitive on how to increase the amount of revenue you're bringing in, but you can increase your wholesale orders. So you know that wholesale, you have to sell the product for 50% less than retail, but what's really great about wholesale is people are buying things in bulk. So if you've refined your process, like I mentioned earlier, and you can make more candles in less time, then wholesale might be a really great option for you. So personally, I have been focusing a lot on wholesale the past few months, and my fair account has been growing and growing every month, which is really, really great. And last weekend, for example, just a few days ago, we actually did a revamp on Fair. We changed some keywords. We kind of did some research on what's selling on Fair, what keywords I should be putting in the listings, and we changed it. And this week, I have gotten 3 wholesale orders in 4 days. So even though I've gotten 3 orders, those 3 clients will spend a lot more money than a retail client. So what's great about wholesale is those people are ready to shop. They have a little bit more money to spend because those are business owners purchasing your candles to sell in their stores. And if you have repeat clients, they're going to be increasing the amount that they purchase over and over again. So it's really important to have a really quality product before going into wholesale and have your processes down. So with inflation, people are spending less money on luxury products, and candles really are a luxury product. It's not something you need to survive. So how can you still keep up with your revenue during these times of inflation? So for me, one thing I'm working on for the fall is getting people interested with my products and with my storefront. So I am working on different ways to rearrange and kind of revamp my storefront so that customers have a new experience coming in. And the same goes for an online company. So if you sell the same products over and over, your customers kind of get bored because they may have already purchased those products and they say, well, I've already tried that. I'm just gonna, if something else new comes out, then I buy that. So personally, I have to work on this. So I set a goal to create 1 new product a week and launch 1 new product a week. So it keeps the customer's interest up. And plus, when you're launching more products like this, it increases your search on these other platforms like Etsy and Fair. So what do I mean about increasing search? So basically increasing the amount of times you show up in search results. So if you have 5 products, you have less chances of showing up in search results compared to someone who has 50 or 100 products. So one goal for me is making a new product every week to put into my shops, because then I can make more sales with more products. So earlier I told you about how we reworked the Fair account, the Fair wholesale account, to kind of show it better in results, and it's been working. So now the next step is to increase the amount of products that I'm putting into my fair shop. So for you, you can kind of go in and see what keywords people are actually looking for, what keywords are drawing people in to your accounts like Etsy or Fair, and see what people are buying. Figure out how you can land on page one of certain keywords. I know last week on Fair, when we typed in candles, after we kind of did our SEO work there, we did land on page one. So I'm not sure if it's still on page one, but whatever we did has increased our sales so far. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it to see how everything's looking. So another thing you can do to kind of keep yourself afloat during these times is to get plugged into your community and broaden your skills. So what I mean by this is start participating in community events like markets, and if you guys have like a county fair and things like that, and really start getting to know people in your community. So for me personally, with my storefront, since I've opened the storefront, I have been invited to a lot of events, some of which I haven't had time to attend. But for example, I've got invited to sell at a vineyard, to sell at the local, farmers market thing, also church events, ladies' nights. I've gotten a lot of emails over the past few months to kind of show up and do some things for these events. One request I've had over and over is to teach candle making classes. So if you start to broaden your skills, maybe you can do a candle making class in your community where you just make simple candles. Just learn how to make different types of candles and learn how to teach people how to make candles in person and things like that. And you can also make money hosting classes and other little events in your community. Get a little bit crafty, learn new skills, and keep the revenue coming in. So hopefully that helped you out. And don't forget, Candle Biz Academy is open. This is my candle making and business class that I have been running for the past couple of years. I had to take a year off because I was busy opening my storefront and writing a book, but now it's back and open for enrollment. So if you're interested, you can check out the information page down below, and let me know if you have any questions about today's video, and if you have any other suggestions for the community on how to increase revenue during these times. You can leave that in the comments. But I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.